Into somebody else's property, so that one day when I had a church of my own, I could expect God to bless because I had sown into somebody else's vision.
It's actually really crowded this morning,
and my kids are blessed because they had their money.
Why? Something possible.
So we've been one income family. But whenever you see one car in one raggedy
like it is right now,
there have been several seasons when that's been the case.
As busy as it is.
She was always the one rolling nice.
Typically it's not.
You see her in her little benzo, y'all leave her alone. Because she has sown, and she has stood by her husband, and she has helped raise up this church.
It was an accident, it looks like.
Into your life.
Yeah.
So when you see her
multi-car accident, it looks like that's usually what happens on the freeway. It's as busy as it is.
And that's what we have to learn to do. We have to learn to sow. So you're going to get the harvest, but just keep sowing.
Almost start work.
Just keep sowing. And finally, you reap more than you sow. That's the good thing about it.
I'll say another 5 to 8 minutes.
You sow, you get good sowing, but you expect all this. That's where some of y'all are. You're going to be surprised by how much God's going to give you.
One more junction to cross over before we get there.
Return on your investment of staying in that marriage when you could have walked away. He's going to give you a bumper crop. A return on your decision to do it God's way rather than yours. You'll experience a bumper crop.
I'm gonna put you guys
some 30, some 60, some 100. God will bless you in tremendous ways.
Thanks so much for joining us for today's message, Respecting the Law.
Except for by the fish market, we do not want people living there, so we're just going to make that all commercial. So the commercial people, they can handle it. But man, if you're working at a harbor and then you lived next to a fish market and you just had to keep smelling the same smell, yeah, I can imagine people would probably quit. Turnover would be high, and turnover is that's basically the zoning. Over here by the fish factories, well, there's not going to be any like shoppers around here, so they'll just zone it as industrial. Then, of course, we need the dumpsters. We'll have them back here. Can't build in water. My garbage trucks can swim. Oh yes, and of course, the crematorium. We'll just have that by the dumpsters as well. So that's good. And other basics that we need. Build a little schoolhouse, nice and quaint. High school, you can have that by the factories, right? Sure. High schoolers, fish factory, harbors. Let's say that checks out. Teenagers don't even know what deodorant is half the time, so they can handle any smell. Now things are all ready to go, except for the harbors. So let's send up their fishing routes and get the money rolling in. So we can do that up. And what are these harbors again? Fishing harbors, so this can go literally anywhere. So we'll set up that one last. Anchovies, well that can go literally anywhere. The entire sea is apparently just full of anchovies, for whatever reason. Where's a salmon one? Shellfish. Okay, that one's kind of important. So that has to go to the deep water that we created earlier. Just to go straight this way. Try and keep the ships in the shellfish zone. I hope they can do a cool 90-degree turn. That'd be awesome. And back to here. Well, that's pretty straightforward. And where's the salmon one though? Salmon. The big thing is, can we actually have the shipping lanes just join up? No. It's unfortunate. Can the shipping lanes cross each other? Yes! Okay, so that's great. Well, the ships can all crash into each other, sure, but industrializing heavily later on, a lot easier. Just do that, boom, and this was just a normal harbor. I can just go, boop, right out of Dodge, as can the anchovy fishing harbor. Now we can release the fleet. Go, ships. Collect the beach. Oh, that's kind of cool. Every harbor has like a unique little ship. Some fates. I think this is the default fishing harbor, so it's already fishing right now. And actually, that's kind of neat. The ships go faster when they're going out to the fishing area. They slow down once they get there. Wow! Wow! Look at that one! That one's so cute. Just a normal fishing boat. Nice. This one's for shellfish. Okay. It's crazy. You know what this reminds me of, actually? There used to be this crab fishing show called Deadliest Catch. It was so good. This looks like one of those ships that would catch the crabs. Wait a second! Shellfish. Are crabs a shellfish? Are they a fish? Bruh. Wait, no. I gotta Google this. This is very important. Oh, and yes! Yes, okay, good. Thank you, Google. They are technically shellfish. Good. I'm gonna presume that lobster are also shellfish as well. I'm just thinking here, like, look, we have our posh area of the city, and you better believe they are going to want fresh lobster and crab. So we just want to make sure that we're catering to them. Shareholders are very important to me, just as important as our profits. And with this little setup and little town building up here, how are they looking? Do we have like a budget tab for this? Beach. Huge expense. $5,000 and we're making literally nothing. Oh, wait. That's because the town's flooded again. Where does this water keep coming from? The ocean? Stack. Water belongs here. It's a beach. Wait, if the town's flooded, does that bring the beach into town? No. Oh, there's a little bit of salmon. Okay, town, unflood, make money, chop chop. Okay, looking better. Budget. Where are we at? Beach. Wow. Okay. $14,000. $5,000 expense. That is a good ROI. Pretty much $10,000 profit. Wow. What is this? Oh, warehousing. Fair enough. Okay. That's very, very good. That is insane profit for how little we have here. Also, the tuna is like super low efficiency as well. 20%, okay, but it's still like terrible. So, if we optimize this, we could be making like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So clearly that's the next step. And unfortunately, I know the truth. That one low efficiency tuna fishing harbor is not part of an efficient system. So, rip the route, and also is a massive endeavor. Yeah, there was an attempt, but that is not working or anywhere worth the price. So, let's flatten it out, and forget about it. Wait, I can't forget about it. Water doesn't exactly just disappear. It kind of comes back. So there's gonna be just a little bit of flooding. Maybe just a giant tidal wave. As the water builds out of the ground. Oh, the little harbor town. They're used to getting a little wet. It'll be fine. Oh, and XD, check this out. Now there's tuna appearing. Silly. Oh my god, wow! Alright, they're gonna get a little... This better not cause my factories to collapse or I'm gonna be upsetty. Spaghetti. No. It's like revenge of the beach. Went into their sea. And now their sea is going into our town. We have become the beach. Cars just moving through buildings. Can we fish our own people out of here? Do we have emergency services? It doesn't matter. We'll just get new people. We'll be fine. Oh my gosh, though. Oh my god, I didn't think that would be this bad. Oh my, it wiped out half the town.
481.
Oh no.
Good.
Revenge of the beach.
Chief service, nuclear
Did I say
medicine.
half the town? The entire town. Oh,
What room?
Did we lose anything important? Nope, the money's still good.
Building 100,
Commercial district.
E1,
Okay.
340.
Okay.
Room
No
340.
super valuable assets lost. We
Okay.
lost about, I suppose, like 300 people, but again, the value things are still in place. It's fine. No, the money!
What is this?
Very unfortunate. Okay. Oh wait, that was only round one. There's a second tidal wave coming in. Oh no! Round two, baby! Thought it was over. It was just the beginning. Wait, are our factories safe? Probably. We're gonna lose a lot of money because the highway is getting washed out. We're probably gonna lose a couple trains here. I'm sorry, I just wanted tuna! Just wanted some tuna. Oh, so much money. Over tuna. What a disaster. Anyway, we will leave this to its devices. We have to recoup our losses. Let's get building. So, since most of the ocean here is anchovies, we will just build the most efficient thing we have, the anchovy fishing harbor. We'll just build them all along the coast. I kind of considered actually building like an inlet for all the harbors that we go in here and we use that river, but it costs too much. I just had to get rid of that river. It was an abject failure. Had to get rid of this though. Oh boy, is this gonna be profitable as anything. And we just need this to go over to here. Maybe I'll re-terraform a lot of this. Rebuild it in the town. Or I mean the entirety of the town. Or I had second thoughts. Instead of building everything back, I left a little bit destroyed so that people know they're not interested in feet. And also, they won't feel as bad when they see the massive fleet destroying the ocean. It's all part of a tactical game. Anyway, we're just getting anchovies now. It's how the world was built. Get anchovies. So we built these fleet. They need power. Here, quickly. There we go. Happy. Told you. It didn't need no power. We're excited to go. Our navy is ready. Ready to plunder the sea of all that it can. Look at all those boats. Look at all the ships. It's so organized over here. So chaotic over there. Oh man. How many ships are in each harbor? Can there be more? It's more. It's just a constant fleet. Man, I wish there's a little bit of military in this game. That would be so fun. But this is as close as we get. Economic military, essentially. So many. We're gonna get so much money. Oh man, I can't wait to check out the budget once these guys start to return. How are they looking too? Oh man, they're gonna be all fully loaded by the time they get back. Oh yeah, already. Let's go. Money's on the horizon. Sweet, sweet. Let's see how much we're gonna need. While they're doing that, I super quickly looked over policies as well, and I noticed that there are fishing policies, like making everybody get a fishing license, and that increases all residential tax income by 5%, which is like huge. But it also reduces happiness and increases crime by a bit. We have jails for that. Citizen happiness has always been like max.
P1 Town 4, key service complete.
There was sustainable fishing, which wouldn't be what we do in our city, but no, it's profitable. Increases fish yields by 10%, which is huge. Because although it's under the sustainable fishing cap, we are making an insane amount of commercial goods in our factories and unique factories. And I am pretty sure it'll apply to these as well. So I'd say it'd be worth it. Also, there's going to be events here anytime now, but eager to see it. It's crazy. Okay, anyway. Yeah, let's finally see what our budget's looking like. I'm sure these are doing well. 100% efficiency. Trucks moving. They are moving. What are we looking at? How? You're losing money now. Is this just because of tuna? Is tuna really that value? Really? Oh, no, now the money's coming in. Now the money is coming in. The trucks are arriving. Okay. The sound of that. Can our factories keep up? Yeah, no. You're gonna fill up pretty quick. We should fill up another factory and keep up with the influx of let's just fill up two. We're probably gonna need a pile of the houses. A little bit of road redesign, and the things are back to normal. And profit-wise, how we doing? And the profits are looking way better too. Oh yeah, they're flying now, brother. Good. The fish pay for themselves in spades. In fact, that's one of the better industries we have now. Aside from all the people dying, I'd say that this project was an incredible success. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's gonna be all for now. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.
It's party time, people, and Raid Shadow Legends is having their 3rd birthday. And I gotta
Hey there, it's Josh. Welcome back to Let's Game It Out. We're checking out Hydroneer today, a game about mining and digging and all kinds of other fun stuff. Developers, thank you for a key. Let's dive in and see what kind of trouble we can get into. So this is the wild world of Hydroneer, not too shabby. And this is our first quarry where we're going to do some sweet excavation. To do all that digging, the game has provided us with a shovel as well as a lantern. Let's pick this up and let's see, can we just go...
Welcome to r/malicious compliance, where we share stories of people conforming to the letter, but not the spirit on request. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. I went to a terrible job, and that's why I made conditions to my boss. The second story. Karen complained her key card didn't work, but it absolutely did. The third story. The woman lied about her children's ages, so she had to watch a movie instead of shopping. The first story is follow-up to my insurance company, Malicious Compliance. Some background. Geico is a terrible company to work for. They micromanage you to the extreme, set impossible expectations. I was graded an F on a call once because I sneezed. Seriously, you only have 4 graded calls a month, and this is what determines your ranking as an employee, and expect you to put up with the scum of the earth. I once kept a week-long tally of how many times customers cussed me out every day. I did the math and realized I averaged being cussed out about 15 times a day. Of course, if you work for Geico, this is something you're all aware of. I worked for this hellhole at the height of the recession. I sat at a computer all day answering phones, then went home and filled out applications until 9:30 to 10 at night, with nothing to show for it for over a year. I'm not the type of guy who gets depressed or lets things get me down, but working at this hellhole ruined my life so severely that I started puking every morning before going into work. I had to call my mom, as a grown-A adult, on my way to work most mornings, and ask her to convince me not to turn around and go home. Something about me, I never call out of work. I'll go into work feeling so sick that I feel like I'm going to die, but I don't call out, except at Geico. I hated the job so much, and was done being treated like dirt, done with the insane micromanagement, moronic managers, computer programs that crashed every other minute, and customers who were calling directly from Satan's butthole. I was finishing my master's in teaching credential program at the time, and realized that after a year of looking for another job, my student teaching internship was 2 months away. So I just stopped caring. Don't get me wrong, I understand the average customer did nothing wrong to me, and and I always treated them right. But if somebody cussed me out, I hung up on them. If somebody gave me an attitude, I'd put them on hold for 10 minutes while I went to grab a coffee. I purposely stopped following the corporate script and never upsold anything ever. Then I realized that the morning nausea and vomiting I had been experiencing would go away if I simply didn't go into work. I had plenty of sick time saved up, would just call out if I felt like it. If I didn't feel like it, I just wouldn't show up. I ran out of sick time pretty quickly doing this. My logic was simple, and I'll explain that in a bit. One day I had it scheduled to miss the first half of the day to attend a mandatory meeting in regards to setting up my student teaching internship. I told my supervisor I'd be in around 1 or so, depending on how long things took. The day was awesome, and I was feeling super enthusiastic about this new chapter in my life. Until I started driving north to go to work. Then that Geico-y feeling of misery hit me, but only for a minute. I called my wife and told her I was hungry. We should get pancakes. So we did. We took our time eating. I had a cup of coffee, then another. She asked me if I had to go to work. I said yeah, and asked for a third refill. She asked if I was planning on going in, to which I responded, nope. She asked me if I had called to tell anyone, and I said, nope. That was that. I took the rest of the day off and loved every minute of it. My supervisor called at least 3 times, and I hit the ignore button every time. He left 3 messages about how my behavior was unacceptable too. I deleted all of them. The next day I woke up feeling a bit better, only to have that nauseous feeling hit me the second I realized I had to go to work. So I took my time getting ready, waited 45 minutes or so for traffic to clear, and slowly made my way into the office. The boss was waiting for me, and as soon as I clocked in, he asked me to meet him in his side office. We sat making small talk for a couple of minutes, until a higher-up came in. Not his boss, but his boss's boss. That would make him my boss's boss's boss. Serious stuff. The 2 of them started tag-teaming me, telling me how my behavior was unacceptable, how I should be ashamed of myself, how I needed to be a team player. I was on thin ice and blah blah blah. I waited patiently until they were done, and no SHU, the first thing I said was, you guys done? Okay, good, because now it's my turn. Here's the thing, I hate this job. This job sucks. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and if the economy wasn't as awful as it was, I would have been out of this hellhole a long time ago. But the economy sucks, almost as bad as this SH job, and I don't have a choice but to work here. It's been years since this happened, so that's not a verbatim quote, but it's pretty deep close to what was said. I continued. Here's the thing. You have nothing on me. When I say I don't give an SH, I need you to understand exactly what I mean. I don't give an SH about this job. I have my student teaching internship in 2 months, and I'll not only be done with this SH job, I'll be done with the BS customer service industry forever. But here's the thing. I tried finding another job, but there isn't any other work out there. So I'm stuck here, and you're stuck with me. But here's how I see things. You can fire me now, 2 months before I quit, and that unpaid internship will turn into a fully paid internship, thanks to unemployment benefits. I'll have corporate sponsorship of my student teaching. If you don't fire me, I'll tell you what's going to happen. I don't give an SH about this job. I hate it, and I'm not going to follow your BS micromanagement, use your garbage corporate script, or upsell anything. If I don't feel like coming into work, I won't. If I feel like coming in a little late, I will. I'll still do right by the customers, because they didn't do anything wrong. You can trust me on that. I won't screw over innocent policyholders, but this company can go suck a big one. I then sat back like Peter Gibbons and said, ball's in your court, guys. I gotta tell you, I'll support you either way on this. Honest to God, this is exactly how it went down. Just about everything was paraphrased, but more or less accurate to what happened, with the exception of that final line. I'll support you either way on this. That's a verbatim quote, and line I'll always look back on with pride. My boss and my boss's boss's boss just looked at each other and had absolutely no idea what to say. Eventually, my boss's boss's boss looked at me and said, well, I have to say, usually people aren't that honest. I appreciate you being so direct and honest with me. I guess you can go back to work now. So I did. Of course, being the little SH I am, I shook his hand before I left and said that it was nice meeting him. I spent the next month more or less doing what I wanted to at the company. I still treated customers who deserved it with respect, except for the very last one, but that's another amazing story. But now I didn't use the corporate script, upsell anything that wasn't relevant to the customer, or worry about any of the moronic scores or quotas. I kept to our bargain and stayed home on days that I felt like staying home, and usually rolled in 30 to 45 minutes late to avoid rush hour traffic. Eventually, my last day came and I did a final no-call, no-show, which was perhaps the best one ever. I ignored all 5 of my boss's messages, took the weekend off, and started student teaching the next Monday. I'm now on my 8th or 9th year teaching, and there's never been a time when I didn't look back at the end of my tenure at Geico with anything other than pride. The second story is, the Karen of my building told me her key card isn't working, demanded I fixed her key card, so I did. This just happened maybe 5 minutes ago, and I think it's hilarious. I'm the facility manager for my building. Everything that happens and goes wrong is my responsibility, so I make sure everything runs smoothly. My boss had made it clear, it's my building, and I was hired to not only keep people in line, but run everything. I'm not a D, but I hold people accountable.
PD1, this is Robin. You want to attend to 3?
Mountain 110-2.
Put politely. There was no facility manager for a long time before I came along, and both clients and employees ran amok with no order. In the 4 months I've been here, my boss has praised my performance and has gone to bat for me countless times. She's the best boss I've ever had. I've got a firm but fair approach, and my reputation reflects.
Or can read for people with reading difficulties. For some people, reading can be a challenge.
Reflects that. I've got a Karen in the building, and trust me, the name stereotype applies. Who's just a counselor for family services. Has nothing to do with her group. She likes to complain about everything, and gives my boss a headache almost daily. She shares an office with another woman, who's unfortunately picking up on her Karen tendencies. Karen in training. I've been doing a key card audit all week, and I knew to leave Karen's key card alone, because she's the only Karen in the building, so her name stands out. I'm missing 75 key cards. Lots of former employees having all-door access, dating all the way back to 2015. Can't have that, so I deleted a lot of them, especially if it had a wacky name or just a room number. However, I did delete Kit's card information because it wasn't under her name. She just came to tell me her key card wasn't working, and Karen happened to be passing by and overheard it. I went and fixed Kit's key card, and we went to go check to see if it worked or not. We found Karen outside the office waiting, complaining to my boss that her key card didn't work either. Karen wandered away, and my boss rolled her eyes, and I smiled and I told her I would take care of it. After checking to make sure Kit's key card worked, I went downstairs to check the system, looked up Karen, and when you know it, her key card was completely fine. In fact, it showed she had a master key card. So I changed all of her permissions and limited her back to just her room only. I went upstairs and got my boss's attention because her office is next door to the ladies, and I mouthed to listen and pointed. I opened their door and was all, "Hey Karen, I went and checked your key card in the system. Everything is good to go. In fact, it said you had a master key of the building. Per the company orders, since you're not a contractor or a company employee, I can't give you that access. So I had to revoke your status to just this room only. Can't have you bugging people on official business. Wink. Thanks for bringing your key card to my attention." She started to object that she needed the master key card because XYZ, and I was all, "Yeah, sorry. Maybe before, but I'm the facility manager. You don't need access to everything except this office. And if you do, it's outside your pay grade, so you'll have to come get me. Okay? Cool, thanks, bye." And then just closed the door on her mid-sentence. My boss was quietly laughing her A off in her office and gave me an air high five. Edit. To be clear, I'm not...
units, Town 5. All units, Town 5. Dispatch does not have class up, so if you need class for emergencies, we'll call Palo Alto PD for assistance. But VA class is not up right now.
That means don't touch the radio, so they
That unit out. That unit out.
work in education and bend over backwards to help students and customers get the information and help they need. Karen isn't staff. She's just running an office. She has no business having access to our materials, supplies, or workspaces, especially when they're handling students' private information.
T1, Town 5. Computer walkthrough on 101 first floor.
Okay.
CIC check of agent cashier and patient travel. 5 minutes.
Before automated machines were the norm. Adult tickets, 14 plus, were $11.99. Kids 3 to 13 were $9.50, and kids under 3 were free. I had a woman come to my till with 2 kids. Now these kids look to be about 15, though it can be hard to tell sometimes. As many kids don't carry any kind of ID, the rule of thumb was to sell either a kid's ticket or adult ticket, based on how old the adult told us the kids were. Many people would abuse this and say the kids were 13 in order to save a few bucks. Typically I didn't care, as I understood the prices were pretty high, and this was a big chain, so a few older kids getting cheaper tickets wasn't a big deal. What was different this time is that the woman was very rude throughout the whole transaction. We have a series of questions we have to ask throughout the transaction, loyalty program, etc., and we would randomly get scored by mystery shoppers to ensure we were following the script. This woman was annoyed and short with me throughout the whole transaction, when I was being super friendly and just trying to do my job. When we got to the part about what kind of ticket she needed, it went something like this. Me. How old are the kids? Her. Why? Me. So I know whether they need kids tickets or adult tickets. Her. What is the difference? Me. Adult tickets are for 14 plus, and they are $11.99. Kids tickets are for 3 to 13 and are $9.50. Her. Oh, they're 13. Me. Okay, and which film would you like to go see today? Her. Whatever film it was. I can't remember anymore. Me. Okay, no problem. For 2 kids and 1 adult, that'll be $30.99 total. Her. Actually, I'm not going with them. I'm just dropping them off. Me, unfortunately, this movie is 14A, which means you have to be either 14 or accompanied by an adult to see it. Her, well, they're 14. Me, you just told me they're 13. Her, they're actually 14. I just didn't want to pay the price for adult tickets. Me, unfortunately, you told me they're 13, unless you have ID that shows they're 14. I have to assume what you first told me was correct, and cannot allow them to watch this movie unsupervised, as it is 14A. Her, this is ridiculous, so what are my options? Me, they can either go to a different movie that's not 14A, or you will have to buy a ticket and accompany them to this one. After a lot of back and forth about options, she finally decided to bite the bullet and buy an adult ticket to accompany them. I like to think she spent the next 2 hours reflecting on how her attempt to save $5 ended up costing her $11.99 in 2 hours of her time. Realistically, she likely bought the ticket, accompanied them into the theater, and then left them there to watch the movie while she went shopping. Either way, it still cost her the extra $11.99 for her ticket. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
From our very own guys comes a thrilling new journey for your dog. The special edition.
Welcome to r/malicious compliance, where we share stories of people conforming to the letter, but not the spirit of request. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. My boss told me to go back to work, but I was worried about my health and decided to quit. The second story. The guy tried to deceive me for money. I have all his personal information. The third story. The policeman did not listen to me, so I stopped talking. Now he wants the bruise. Today's first story is risk your life or quit. I've worked for dorms at my university for the 2nd year now, and both have been during the pandemic. Last year I wasn't able to make it home for winter break due to travel health concerns, and spent a very depressing and lonely few weeks living alone on campus. This year I planned on going home, which requires a flight. I live 4,000 kilometers from campus but in the same country. I would just like to say that I'm great at my job. I've been rehired for another year. My student satisfaction survey is fantastic. One of my students told another resident staff member that I'm the best person they met on campus. I do work that is not in my job description, and I'm friendly with most folks on the team. Essentially, I'm too good for them to fire me. The workplace overall is also pretty toxic, not due to the students or student staff, but the higher-ups, but that's a different story. However, this year my team got a new supervisor. Actually, many teams got new supervisors, as the previous ones went on to better positions or different schools, etc. This meant a lot of turnover, a lot of hiring, and clearly a good amount of desperation to find someone, if the new hires were anything to go by. Also, students working in dorms started end of August, and I didn't get a new supervisor until the end of October. While students work as floor monitors, etc., we have real adults working as higher-ups. They don't interact a lot with students, but they manage the student staff and a lot of the admin work, safety regulations, etc. I originally didn't have anything against my new supervisor. Sure, it was a bit of an adjustment, and frankly I knew more about my job than she did, but nothing was strictly off-putting. Then December rolls around. I did not have final exams after December 8th, and so I did have a full month free to return home. That being said, they wanted staff to stay behind to support students, and allow the international students who would need time to quarantine, hadn't been home for a while, etc. Priority in the request to leave. This made sense, and while I wasn't chuffed about it, I accepted. And I thought that was it. Oh no, my friends. Then I get to my end-of-term review. I'm told that I need to work on my professionalism. I'm not communicating with my students, and amongst other things that I should think about how my absence would affect my coworkers before requesting leave. My job description only included 1 more day I had to work in the time I asked to leave, and my roommate, also a staff member, was more than happy to do my part as well, and in fact was probably angrier than I was that I didn't get to go home. All in all, there was a good amount of unwarranted comments of how I wasn't meeting expectations, such as in conveying workshop ideas to other staff members, which we had all done in a Google Doc. What was I supposed to do? Sign and date them? Email everyone that I'd done it? According to other members of my team, they weren't getting these comments, and I was quite upset, especially in contrast to my student satisfaction survey. By the time I returned home, Omicron is much more concerning, and everyone living in dorms were being given rapid tests. My mother, who's a frontline worker, had multiple cases at her workplace, which made us concerned that I might not be able to travel. I sent a message to my supervisor about this and I'm dismissed, that we are unaware of any other staff member not being able to return, and essentially asking if I was returning or not. Remember that I had not been able to go home earlier because others were traveling internationally, and and I later confirmed with other staff members in similar situations that they had in fact talked to their supervisors who were apparently understanding. The next day we get a long official email about all the new procedures in our job, due to the new variant, a minor outbreak on campus, etc. I take this as maybe my supervisor misjudged the severity of the situation, and we could have another chat. Boy, was I wrong. She decided to forward this email to me. Yes, the email that all staff members had received. She forwarded, and then informed me in the email that, and these are her exact quotes, I'm still not sure I understand completely what the concern is regarding. RE, my mother having 10 cases at work, and that the expectation is that staff return to residence by date and time to fulfill their roles. If you decide that you're not planning on returning back to campus, we can discuss the exit procedure out of the job position. Now I'm livid. This is my last semester before I graduate, and I'm not going to keep dealing with this BS. She can't understand why I might be, I don't know, concerned for my health and safety, and the health of my students, my roommate, folks on the plane, and any other person living in dorms due to potential contact. Keep in mind, flights are actively being canceled across the country at this time, and booster shots are slowly being rolled out, meaning most of the students on campus didn't have it yet. After this ultimatum, I decided to quit the job on principle. Return on time or quit? Okay. I emailed the director, assistant director, community standards officer, and my supervisor's direct supervisor, saying
P1 Tom 5, mileage for VA4, 22674, 22674, mileage for VA4.
Messages to me with screenshots. I didn't get a response for 9 hours, at 8 p.m. The response was the most non-answer email I've ever seen, saying that staff members would always want more information, and that this must have been a difficult decision. They then asked if this was my official resignation. Apparently it takes 2 emails to quit this job. I said it was, and I switched my flight, told my fellow team members and my students. On that note, if 30% of your students immediately respond to wish you well, tell you that you may not be their job position anymore but you'll always be your friend, it might be a sign that your workplace should keep you. I didn't drop my students. I said they could keep asking me questions, or chatting through concerns, and they have. Clearly they didn't think I was serious about quitting, thinking I was just complaining and threatening, as in the next full team meeting I was assigned a leadership role for an event. They also probably realized they were in deep SH, since only my team, which is only 10 people, the full team is around 100, was informed that I quit. I had an exit interview with the assistant director, where I was told that while online communication doesn't convey tone, it was never an ultimatum, and that for future reference, aka in other jobs, supervisors would always want more information, that this was always open for further discussion. Ma'am, I sent you the email. I told you that other staff members were treated differently, which the assistant director told me they weren't, but some staff members weren't back on campus. My other concerns about my supervisor were also dismissed, including when I told her that other staff members, not the ones on my team, had brought concerns about my supervisor to me, including that she displays a grand lack of empathy. I don't interact with other supervisors on the team at all. I don't know anything about them. What the hell did she do?
As owner of Mint Mobile, I want to introduce our new family plan, the beloved member of my family, my sister-in-law, Robin Light.
I'm free of this job, almost free of school, and I still have my other much better job. Also, this workplace is so terrible and toxic that about half my coworkers found me to tell me something along the lines of, "Good for you, wish that was me. I quit too if I didn't need this job," etc. I eventually flew back to school, as they might be stupidly making classes in person again, and it was practically empty, which was so much better than flying back for their expected date over a weekend. Cheers. Thanks for the ultimatum that somehow made me safer. The next story is revenge on a con artist. 2 years ago, I met a man in a bar. He approached me and we started chatting. He was very charming, intelligent, and charismatic. We exchanged numbers and began dating. He was very attentive and sweet. Single, never been married, no children. He's beginning to sound like Prince Charming. I'm also a little naive and haven't had a lot of experience with relationships. We see each other regularly. He's in constant contact with me via phone. He texts me all day, every day. We exchange hundreds of messages every day, when we aren't together. 6 weeks after we meet, he begins telling me how much he dislikes his current living arrangement, and how awful his housemates are, and how he wants to move out. I live in a large home by myself, and he hints if he can move in. I think this is a little fast, so I don't offer him a place to stay with me. He never mentions moving again. We continue to see each other and talk all day, every day. We talk about the future, marriage, holidays, kids, etc. He had told me previously about how wealthy he is, how he owns multiple homes and businesses around the world, which is why it was surprising 8 months into the relationship when he started asking me for money when he started his new business. I declined to give him any money, as I've noticed a lot of little lies and inconsistencies with his stories and behaviors. He's also very controlling and constantly negging me. I start to cool off on him as things aren't adding up. He assures me everything he has said is true. And he loves me so much he would never hurt me. Something feels off still. I visited a couple of times and his housemates were wet. He said he really disliked them a lot, so he spent a lot of time in my place as I lived alone in a nicer house. I have no idea what he actually told his wife. I start sleuthing him online trying to find information about it. Nothing comes up. I end things with him. He begs me back. I'm dubious but continue to talk to him, as I'm very curious about finding out who this guy I fell in love with really is. I hired a private investigator to find out, as I just cannot shake my gut instinct that something bad is going on. I was devastated to find out the truth. He's been married for 10 years and lives with his wife and 2 kids. He's been married 3 times and has 5 kids. He's broke. He lied about his age, where he grew up, childhood, etc. He has a serious mental health disorder. He's a pathological liar and chronic manipulator. I did realize this by the end. He sleeps with men on the down low and has a harem of women. He perpetuates love fraud schemes for attention, money, and acquisitions. He's conned his friends out of money. The list is endless. I confront him. He lies and says it's not true. I'm livid. I tell him to get lost. He goes for one last try to con money out of me again. Revenge. I blast him on social media from an anonymous account to warn his future victims. I post screenshots of the dossier provided by the PI. It creates a huge amount of interest and goes viral. It turns out this guy has screwed over more people than originally thought, and people want justice. He was sued. These people have no empathy for others. Hopefully I've helped other people to stay clear of being manipulated out of their money and love by falling prey to a love fraud con artist. I've left the state I was living in when this occurred 3 months ago, and I'm trying to move on with my life. Always trust your gut instincts. The last story is, forgive me, officer. Of course you know how to do your job. So this happened back at the end of 2018. I worked for a supported community living, SCL company. My day consisted of assisting clients with developmental disabilities perform daily tasks, such as administering medication, toileting, transportation. But a major part of what I did was behavior de-escalation. Many individuals that are part of the IDD, intellectually developmentally disabled community, have behavioral issues that range from harmless to extremely violent. 3 stitches in my chin and a month later, 6 in my hand from the same client. Not the one in this post. Full moons were pretty freaking wild too. I sincerely enjoyed this part of my job. At times it was dangerous, but you would always learn so much from just trying to help them regulate their emotions. A behavior is just them trying to communicate a want or a need that they have. They just don't know how to use their words sometimes. On this particular day, the client that I was closest to had a meltdown. Punched holes in the wall, tore a blackboard off the wall, pushed over a large cabinet, the works. Mind you, this was actually pretty common for them, especially around wintertime when they miss their family. Eventually, after hours of trying on our own to calm them down, we had to call the police. When they arrived, 3 officers, 2 very kind ones, and then an arrogant B, my client became sort of quiet and compliant. I knew from years of working with them that that definitely was not a good sign. My supervisor also noticed this, and as we told him to watch out, the arrogant B stated, "We know how to do our jobs, ma'am." Cue malicious compliance. So I, being the dutiful citizen I am, shut my mouth, and my supervisor did the same. We watched the client edge closer as the officers were speaking to them. When they were within arm's reach, my client made their move. As fast as lightning, my client reached their hand down in their pants and proceeded to slap the arrogant B in the face with their hand. At that point, it was assault on an officer, so they swiftly cut them and sent them to a holding cell at the sheriff's department until they had calmed down enough to be released. Being a part of the IDD community prevented them from pressing any kind of charges on my client, so they got off pretty easy. The arrogant B, on the other hand, ended up with a bruised eye for 2 weeks. I found out later on from a state trooper friend that he was pretty disliked in general, so it made for a good laugh for them as well. Edit. I absolutely understand where the concern comes from about the client's safety, and as part of my job, that was also my utmost concern as well. In the area that I live in, it's pretty rural, so the most opportunities for employment are found either at a factory or an SCL company. The police in this area are actually very used to dealing with this community because of this. This was not the first time we had called them for this particular client, and one of them had actually transported this client to a mental health hospital for us previously. They just sent the wrong officer this time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.
It's time to fly protected. took one off and went right in his shirt.
I thought he got it stuck under his belt. Oh, man, I've never seen that.
He used his chest to block the ball spun right in his shirt. Went to throw it, and it wasn't there. That's what you don't see every day. Did everything right. Took one for the team, blocked the ball. If there's a guy going to second, I guess he can what? Hold on to the ball through his uniform and dive on top of him?
Yeah.
And he strikes out Caesar. Molina trying to find the ball. And it's connected to his chest protector. I have never seen that. How about that? Watch, Molina taking the mask off. Caesar doing what he can. Molina has the ball in his chest protector. My gosh. You come to the ballpark, you're going to see something you've never seen. That'll be played forever.
Right. I'll let my partner describe this.
Not much will make them Husker smile the first two games as he's down to run to this pitch play. He didn't even know where it went. It almost came back and hit him in the head.
And it almost rolled over to his right. I mean, that is one of the bigger curveballs I've ever seen. Horn goes from second to the throw hits Lee and goes all the way out to Teixeira. It obviously didn't get Lee's body, it probably got Lee's bat. And now they're going to ask for interference.
Well, this is a tough call. I mean, this is a call. The umpire, I mean, the batter has every right to be where he is as long as he does not intentionally interfere. See, he didn't move, didn't go out of the way. And, you know, the lucky thing at Corey right there is his hand didn't hit that bat or a finger. He got rid of the ball. Every single day you see something in this game like we haven't seen in a while. I don't know that I've ever seen a foul ball.
Russell Hart's thinking the same thing. Look at this. Ball's dead.
The ball actually hit Schu's bat as Martin went to throw it back to the pitcher.
Why is it dead? Why is it dead? That ball's alive.
Rafael Scott signaled immediately.
That ball's alive.
Once he thought that Schu crossed over the plate.
No, what Schu's doing is getting ready. He's just getting ready to hit again. He's just standing there getting ready to hit. Watch this. He's getting himself ready to hit. And that's just a throwback and hit the bat. That's not Schu's fault. That is not interference. That's his the same motion. He does that every at bat.
Another bat. How about that one? Big cut. So 2 pitches and the bat selection becomes a little more difficult to select from. And a broken man base hit into left field. Here comes Joyce. He will score the go-ahead run. Grossman's toss back toward third, and the pinch hitter Sands comes through with a big base hit to give the Rays a 4-3 lead. Well, he broke 3 bats in that at-bat, and that's the one that counted.
And the roof, it is pouring outside, and the roof is leaking right over the mound. And it's on his hat. You can see the raindrops coming off the bill of his cap there. And it's coming down pretty good. We are told it is absolutely pouring outside. And it's raining inside. That tells you just how hard it's raining outside. Muddy out there on the mound. Pouring rain outside of Walmart here in downtown Phoenix. Raining inside Chase Fields. Brent Griffin and his crew out there working on the mound between innings. There's a small lake forming behind home plate. Right in front of our camera spots.
Running the line at third. The 2-0. Molina hits it out to deep right field. That ball is sinking. It will be conferring with some of his people and looked out and was surprised that he could not find an umpire to talk to. And he put his arms up, where are they? And then he started chasing them back down the tunnel where the umpire's dressing room is. This is bizarre, Danny.
They have told the crowd here at Busch Stadium the game is over. That has been announced. They've announced that to the crowd. They're headed to the exits. He's the self-proclaimed best player of his generation. Nobody in the decade of the 90s has more home runs, more RBIs, more runs scored than that man.
Those are 5 walks and the 9 batters that he has faced. And they're walking him with the bases loaded and intentional walk to Barry Bonds.
Unbelievable.
Maybe he's got a 20-year contract.
You know, this is flat out saying I will not let you beat me.
This is history.
Wow.
Nine intentional walks, but this is the ultimate intentional walk with the bases loaded. Barry Bonds walks to drive it around, making it 8-7. Now 3-2 pitch. Line to right field, but right there is the right field will make the catch, and Arizona has won in dramatic fashion after Buck Showalter walked Bonds with the bases loaded to drive it around to make it 8-7. But Greg Olson closes it out with a line smash to right field.
Look at here. Look at here. It's the old Buck Showalter play. It's all the way back to the screen, and they're trying to bait before they try to bait it home from third.
Did he do that on purpose?
I don't think so. Wow, this is something there. Walking Hamilton with the bases loaded.
What Joe Madden is saying here, the only thing that can kill me right now is a home run. And Josh Hamilton has hit 28 of them, and Marlon Byrd has hit 8 of them. I'm going to play the percentages. The thing is, Marlon Byrd is hitting close to 300, and now all he has to do is shoot one in the gap. And with Josh at first base, he's going to score. I don't need him right now.
At the big league level, Tag, that what you just saw had happened once in the last 68 years. It was Barry Bonds, ordered by Buck